Let me ask you something that might sting a little. How many times have you found yourself bending, breaking, or folding just to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be? How often have you silenced that powerful voice inside you because the world whispered, sometimes shouted that you were too much, too bold, too ambitious, too spiritual, too you? Here's a truth that will change everything for you. A truly smart woman is not born, she is built. And the very first brick in that sacred construction is this unshakable reality. You cannot follow any rules for success if you don't first know, beyond shadows and doubts, who you truly are. Imagine your identity like the roots of a mighty oak tree. When the winds come, and they will come, it's not the branches that determine if you'll stand or fall. It's what's happening beneath the surface in those places no one sees. I've watched too many women with extraordinary potential collapse under the slightest pressure because while they invested in the visible, the degrees, the looks, the social media presence, they neglected the invisible foundation. I start today by doing what Esther did before she ever approached the king's throne. She spent 12 full months in preparation. 12 months! Not working on her resume, but on her identity. Before you can walk confidently into your destiny, you must first sit securely in your truth. Write down what God says about you, not what your past says, not what your failures shout, not what limited people project onto you. Write it in ink so permanent that no opinion can erase it. The world will try to name you. It will call you by your mistakes, by your marital status, by your bank account, by your weight. But a smart woman knows this: you are not who they say you are. You are who God says you are. And say that with me right now. I am not who they say I am. I am who God says I am. Let that truth sink from your lips to your heart to your bones until it becomes the unshakable foundation for everything else that follows. Can we be completely honest for a moment? How many mornings have you woken up with fire in your spirit, only to have it drenched by afternoon because of something you read, something someone said, or something you couldn't stop replaying in your mind? How many dreams have died not from lack of opportunity, but from an overflow of toxic thoughts? Let me tell you something that will free you. Your life is moving inexorably in the direction of your strongest, most persistent thoughts. What you meditate on, you will eventually manifest. This isn't just motivational talk, this is spiritual law. Your mind is not some passive bystander in your life. It's the most fertile garden you'll ever tend. And here's what's frightening it will grow whatever seeds you plant there, whether you planted them intentionally or not. Those negative thoughts you keep replaying, those aren't just passing clouds, they're seeds. Those fears you keep watering with your attention, they're taking root. But so are your faith declarations. So are your visions of victory. Today, I need you to become ruthless about what enters your mental space. Before you check your phone in the morning, check God's word. Before you consume the world's narrative, declare heaven's perspective over your life. When that lying voice whispers, "You're not enough," you counter it with, "I am more than enough through Christ who strengthens me." This isn't positive thinking, this is spiritual warfare. Proverbs 4:23 didn't say, "Consider guarding your heart." It commanded, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. The most important battles you'll fight won't be in the boardroom or the courtroom. They'll be in the quiet spaces of your mind. A smart woman knows this. What you allow to grow in your mind will eventually show up in your life. So tend your garden well. Raise your hand if this sounds familiar. You start a new routine, a new business, a new discipline with fireworks of enthusiasm, only to find that when the sparklers fizzle out, so does your commitment. You're not alone. But here's what separates the women who dream from the women who those smart women understand that success isn't about motivation, it's about muscle. Consistency is the compound interest of personal growth. A single drop of water seems insignificant until you realize that over time, it can carve through solid rock. Your small, daily disciplines are doing the same, carving out a future that your occasional bursts of effort could never achieve. Start today with what I call the 2-minute rule. If something takes less than 2 minutes to do, do it immediately. That email, send it. That prayer, Say it, that idea, write it down. Momentum begins with movement. Then take your big dreams out of the clouds and put them in your calendar. Dreams don't work unless you do. And find yourself an accountability partner, not someone who will coddle your excuses, but someone who will call forth your greatness even when you can't see it yourself. Galatians 6:9 says, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." Your proper time is coming, but only if you don't quit in the middle of the process. Consistency isn't glamorous, but it's guaranteed. Motivation will fail you. Feelings will betray you. But discipline will deliver you. How many times have you downplayed your achievements because you didn't want to seem too much? How often have you made yourself smaller so others wouldn't feel uncomfortable around your light? Let me speak a hard truthing that's not humility. That's self-betrayal. A smart woman understands this divine paradox. True humility isn't thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less. But shrinking so others can feel big isn't humility, it's a distortion of the very purpose God placed within you. You are a lighthouse, beloved. Your calling isn't to dim your beam so ships don't feel blinded, it's to stand tall and unashamed so those lost in darkness can find their way home. Start today by keeping a victory jar. Every time God brings you through something, every time you achieve something significant, write it down and put it in that jar. Then, when the enemy tries to make you forget who you are, pull out those testimonies and remember, surround yourself with people who don't just tolerate your light, but celebrate it. And when you stand before the mirror today, I need to declare this: I am allowed to take up space. I am allowed to shine. I am allowed to be great. Matthew 5 verse 14 leaves no room for debating. You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. God didn't say you might be light or you could be light. He declared you light. And light wasn't meant to be hidden. Neither are you. So go forth today not with arrogance, but with the quiet confidence of a woman who knows she carries divine illumination everywhere she goes. The world needs your light. Don't you dare dim it.